recommendations by Kansas Association of School Board, the language change in those. Also, written information related to the bond issue and updates on those projects. And we are ready for topics for discussion.
I know they have left, but I did want to comment on how impressed I am with the teachers who got their national board certification. It's a very arduous process. It takes a lot of time and commitment, and it's a demonstration of professionalism that I think it just, demonstrates how many amazing educators that we have here in Olathe and the quality of education that we offer to our students. I looked at doing that when I was in the classroom and was very intimidated by the parameters. So it is a heavy lift. So huge kudos to those who got it for the first time, those renewing, and those teachers and educators in our district who already have that certification. I just wanted to say that I know change is challenging. I appreciated the overview of the bell schedule and how it's, been going from the eyes of those in the building who live it every day with our students. And change is hard, and I know we've had speed bumps, but it really overall feels like we are having a smoother ride, making sure everybody gets to school. So I appreciate the work that went into that and the information. But yeah, overall, I just, again, encourage everyone to stay up to date on what's happening in the legislature and, because they are the foundation of where we get the funding for our amazing school district. So stay safe. Thank you.
Just a couple notes from me. First, I wanted to thank all the district music teachers that put on the holiday, I don't know the right term, but the holiday events for the district. At my son's school, Ms. Lewis put on a wonderful presentation by the Cardinal Chorale that also did a little tour of the district, and they were extremely excited to take part, so it was a lot of fun to watch. Second, I wanted to thank Mr. Novacek and Mr. Humphrey for giving me a little tour of Olathe West. Once they found out I had never been to Olathe West, they wanted to give me the tour, and it was a lot of fun. I got to see the green tech space, the public safety space, and I got to see them getting ready for hosting a girls wrestling tournament, which I found out is the fastest growing high school sport in the country. It was amazing how many people they were bringing in and getting ready so efficiently while still making sure the students were getting done what they needed to. It was a really welcoming space, great staff, great administration, so just thank you for that. And lastly, last month I went to see the Olathe East 3DE pitch event at the the Oracle Innovation Campus over in Kansas City, Missouri. It was really eye-opening to see what these students were able to do. And for those that don't know, 3DE is a partnership with business throughout the Kansas City area and Junior Achievement that teach these kids how to build up businesses and learn how to take part in small businesses throughout the community. And what these guys did is it's almost like a Shark Tank setup. These students come in and between 2 and 5 kids come in and they pitch a product that they came up with on their own to a bunch of adults they don't know who are volunteer judges who built. So the Shark Tank one was more of just talking about the idea, and now they'll be spending the rest of the semester actually building the products that they'll be selling, that they'll be trying to get people to invest in. So it was really fun, and I wanted to thank Junior Achievement and the Olathe East 3DE team for inviting me and letting us observe. And that's it for me.
Ms. Johan.
Well, I'm just really excited, and I had one other little person in my house that was really excited to go back to school today. So I wanted to say it, but I thought I'd save it for now. Another thank you to everybody who worked really hard. I know when we were all at home, there were a lot of people working, around the clock to take care of the schools and get them ready. I wanted to say that one thing that I didn't consider was getting food to schools. And so when Dr. Yeager sent that note to us earlier in the week of this is another concern, I thought, oh gosh, you can have school, you can have lots cleared, but if kids don't have food, that's not a good thing. So I appreciated just kind of that behind the scenes of, oh yeah, a little aha moment. So. Thank you again to everybody for taking care of that and making sure that our kids could get to school safely, and buses to get there, all the things after listening to the Bell schedule and how the kids can have that continuity with their bus drivers. My son was super excited. He got a little note and a gnome from his bus driver saying, thank you for being an awesome, awesome bus rider right before the holidays. And so just thinking about that and how they've had that, and it's really just exponentially made their experience at school much better. So very happy, very proud for all that work that went into that. I know that was not easy. I echo what Will said earlier. I'm glad that somebody else did it to make it easier for us this year. But I know there will be other things down the road. So I also wanted to just take a moment to recognize President Jimmy Carter. Today is the Day of Mourning, National Day of Mourning. And I don't know if you know this, but he did establish the Board of Education, the Department of Education, I should say. And so just thinking about that and just taking a moment to recognize him and all the work that he did in his 100 years of life. And so just really appreciate that man and what he did. So that's all for me tonight, and happy January.
Well, and his first office he ever held was on his county school board.
Nice. Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah.
Yes. No, Claire is.
To be president, is that what we're, projecting?
Maybe Rob.
Anyone else? Okay. I'm going to repeat a couple of thank yous because I just think it's important that we say, again, Mr. Palangi, operations and maintenance, the building custodians, the building leadership, office staff in the buildings, administrative assistants here in this building the last few days, as well as senior leadership team, activities and athletics, Matt Johnson. I know that just sets a whole system in place. Middle schools cancel and they're not happy about it, and high schools are rescheduling with all of the other schools. So thank you all for working through that. Also, congrats to the National Board Certified Teachers and those who have renewed that, have received that, again, because it is a lengthy process. I've not done it, but I saw teachers go through that and signed off on things for them, and it is a significant achievement. Also, last month we talked about the possibility of a board member attending professional council meetings this year, and Mr. Kuhn has agreed to do that. So he will be attending professional council, and then when there are updates during executive session, he will be a part of that as well. So thank you, Rob, for doing that. Thanks for the recognition with the flowers and the board recognition tonight. I would say it's a privilege to serve on this board and to represent Olathe Public Schools. There is a pride for what we have done in the past and what we continue to do in the classroom and working with people, adults and students, and it's a privilege to be able to do that. But thank you for the recognition tonight. Anyone else? Okay, Dr. Yeager.
Thank you. You know, my reflection tonight, I don't know why this is, but it feels like at board meetings, we spend a lot of our time talking about Dr. McMullen. But tonight we spent a lot of time talking about Travis. So Travis, I'd like to congratulate you on being the focus of tonight's meeting. Just again, some things that sound like things we've already heard, but you know, I'm always so impressed by our staff and the way they step up in times of need. You know, we obviously have recognized our operations service center and the work that they've done, our custodians, the work that they've done this week, our food service staff. It really has been impressive, and you know, there are times where you just realize what an incredibly large school system we are, and this week is certainly one of those times, and thanks everybody that's contributed to that. I have driven around the district a lot since Sunday, been in almost every parking lot and up and down many of our streets, and I was driving Monday, Tuesday, I don't know, the days are blurring together. The first day that we were plowing all of our lots, and one of our trucks was in there plowing, and so I just pulled in and realized about halfway it wasn't real smart to do that because I was behind a snow plow truck and there was one line, and I thought, if he backs this thing up, he's going to run right into me. So anyway, he didn't, and I got his attention soon enough. But I met Andre, who was driving one of our snow plows, and had a really nice conversation with him, and I asked him, I said, how long have you been here? He was at Forest View, and I said, how long have you been here plowing? And he said, about 2 hours so far. And I looked around and I said, wow, we're in trouble, aren't we? And he's like, yeah, it's going to take a long time to get all the snow, but they've just done such a great job, and I enjoyed meeting him, and just, you know, again, just a sign of the people that we have and how hard they work to have school. So thank you to everyone that's been involved with that. I also want to thank our just overall our staff and our community. You know, one of the hardest challenges in my job is making snow day decisions, and I know that may seem silly in some degree, but it's a hard decision because I know it impacts every single family and every single student and every single staff member in our district. And you know, I just want our community to know that myself, our team, we really agonize over those decisions because of the impact we know that it has. And sadly, one of the challenges is I quickly learned no matter what the decision is, you're not going to please everyone. So under that vein, I've received lots of text messages tonight. I think I have emails coming in, and people are waiting for this grand announcement tonight at the board meeting about a potential snow day tomorrow. And I thought I'd just go ahead and take care of that. I'm not going to make that announcement tonight. So those of you that are waiting on that, put your spoons under your pillows, chocolate chips in your toilets, whatever you do. There goes my next thing that's going to be repeated several times. Whatever it may be. I'll just give you all a second. So that's a new tradition. We're going to start in Olathe if you want a snow day. But the reality is the snowstorm that I think is already hitting some folks just very closely to our south right now, it will be the morning before we realize what the impact is of that. So I'm sorry to disappoint anyone, but we will have a decision by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning as to what tomorrow will look like. I was reflecting just a little while ago with Mr. Kuhn that, you know, when I was a kid, you'd turn on the radio, and I went to school in the Shawnee Mission District, and if you turned the radio on time, just in time to hear Tonganoxie, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to the whole alphabet again before I find out. And then like, I know it's not true, but I always felt like Shawnee Mission was the last one to announce, and you'd listen to it over and over and over, and then when it came up, you felt like you won the lottery, right? So we have much better systems now, luckily. I also wanted to just one more time express my appreciation to our Board of Education, you know, saying a few words, providing flowers and free coffee, as I mentioned earlier, you know, is such a small thing for the service that you provide, not only to our district, but our community as a whole. You know, I am so proud to work with this board, and, you know, we've had a long tradition of very strong boards in Olathe, but one of the things I'm really proud of for this board, and, you know, I appreciate Will's comments tonight about the previous board, and really really being willing to make tough decisions that will serve our community long term. It's always easier to take the route of no resistance and, the pacify things to hold the status quo, if you will. But just in hearing our principals tonight talk about the impacts for kids based on the schedule changes, which was a very, very challenging thing to work through. I'm just proud to be part of this group and work with this group that prioritizes access and opportunity and improvement for our kids. So thank you all very much for your continued commitment and support in our system. Suddenly, I just got another text. My wife said, Hy-Vee is out of chocolate chips. So,
Good job, Christine.
You know she's watching. Okay.
Dr. Yeager, did that dog already swim, or is that? Wait, how did that one go?
I'm not sure I have any additional comments this evening.
Oh, goodness. 50. Okay, board, we have one more executive session, and I would welcome a motion for 15 minutes, please.
I move that the board go into executive session for the purpose of discussing potential property for preliminary discussion relating to the acquisition of real property under coma, and that the board return to the regular meeting at 8:20 p.m. in this room.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Reagan, second by Ms. Steele.
Mrs. Reagan,
Yes.
Dr. Yurkovich,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Babbitt,
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn,
Yes.
Mrs. Johan.
Yes.
And for those